Imagine working on a blockbuster movie where the lead actor refuses to speak to the director, communicates only through post-it notes signed, and things get so intense that the director was worried about more on-set violence, so he hired a bunch of bikers at a bar to escort him the next day and serve as his bodyguards. This isn't a movie plot, it was the actual reality behind 2004's Blade Trinity. Behind the scenes of Blade Trinity, the real war wasn't vampire hunters versus the undead.
The humans have a new hunter, Blade.
And you'd like me to kill him?
Yes.
It was a full-blown war between action star Wesley Snipes and the director David Goyer, a war so intense it involved on-set bodyguards and CGIs inserted because Wesley Snipes literally refused to open his eyes. Today, we're breaking down 5 wild, unbelievable stories from one of the most notoriously chaotic movie sets in Hollywood history. Hitting theaters in December 2004, Blade Trinity was supposed to be the epic climax to Wesley Snipes' legendary superhero horror trilogy. The story follows when the Daywalker, as Blade played by Wesley Snipes, finds himself framed by elite vampires, hunted by the FBI, and forced to team up with a rogue squad of tech-savvy vampire hunters known as the Night Stalkers. On screen, it was an explosive action spectacle. But behind the camera, it was an absolute train wreck. Here are 5 facts that prove just how wild things really got. Fact number 1. Wesley Snipes felt being betrayed. The explosive feud between Wesley Snipes and director David Goyer wasn't just a clash of egos, it was a battle over the entire identity of the franchise. As an executive producer, Snipes had built the Blade series into a powerhouse. But during pre-production, the studio and Goyer shifted focus, introducing younger spin-off-ready sidekicks, played by Ryan Reynolds as Hannibal King and Jessica Biel as Abigail Whistler. Snipes felt sidelined in his own trilogy. The tension grew so severe that Snipes allegedly refused to speak to Goyer directly. Instead, he stayed in character in his trailer and communicated exclusively through written notes signed from Blade.
I got my sword.
Fact number 2. The physical transformation that sparked Deadpool. To play the fast-talking Hannibal King, Ryan Reynolds completely transformed his physique. He packed on 25 pounds of muscle, survived on a brutal 3,200-calorie daily diet, and trained 3 hours a day. This set the standard for the superhero physique he's known for today. Even better, during filming, Goyer was so blown away by Reynolds' improvised comedic riffs that he famously told Reynolds he would be perfect to play Deadpool in a future movie. It took over a decade, but that on-set observation completely altered modern cinema history, and Ryan Reynolds became the Deadpool. Fact number 3. Jessica Biel $300,000 archery disaster. Jessica Biel took her role as Abigail Whistler ridiculously seriously, undergoing months of grueling martial arts and archery training until she could hit tiny targets with terrifying accuracy. While shooting a scene where she fires an arrow directly toward the camera lens, which was protected by a thick sheet of plexiglass, except for a tiny opening for the lens, Biel let the arrow fly. She nailed the dead center opening from distance, instantly destroying a camera rig valued at over $300,000. Fact number 4. Triple H brings real WWE violence. To give the Vampire Enforcers a terrifying physical presence, the production cast WWE legend Paul Triple H Levesque as the muscular vampire Jarko Grimwood. Rather than relying purely on traditional movie stunt choreography, the directors let Triple H perform his actual professional wrestling moves. If you watch closely during the chaotic brawl scenes, you can spot him pulling off brutal running power slams and devastating knee lifts on actual stunt performers. Fact number 5. Wesley Snipes' CGI eyes, and on-set bodyguards. By the end of filming, the relationship between Snipes and Goyer had completely collapsed. According to co-star Patton Oswalt, things got so heated that Snipes physically confronted and choked Goyer. In response, Goyer allegedly visited a local club, hired several massive security guards, and brought them to set the next day as personal protection against his lead actor. The absurdity peaked during a scene set in a morgue. Blade was supposed to dramatically snap his eyes open. Snipes, reportedly in protest, refused to open his eyes during take after take. The studio had no choice but to awkwardly add digital CGI eyes over his closed eyelids in post-production. In 2005, the fallout ended when Snipes filed a $5 million in lawsuits over unpaid salaries and creative control against New Line Cinema and David Goyer, and Goyer later describing the shoe as the absolute worst experience of his professional life. Which of these crazy set stories surprised you the most? Do you think Blade, Trinity deserves a second look? Or was the drama off camera better than the actual movie? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, drop a like, share the video, and don't forget to subscribe for more crazy movie history. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
You fought with honor. I respect that. But remember this, the thirst always wins.